we're going to keep rolling. I'm so excited to welcome, we're going to be welcoming someone really, really special, Kristina Delgado. Woo! Who's excited for that? Now, Kristina is a superstar diamond coach. Let's hear it for that. She is a 5-time elite coach. She's a Million Club member as well, which is pretty cool. She's also a member on the cab with me, which has been really cool. She's also the co-founder of Diesel Nation with Becky. Wow, there's a lot of you here, and I'm so fired up. And quite honestly, what's been really cool is I still remember, I think it was the first cruise that I went on. It was Oasis or Liberty, I can't even remember anymore. Big boat. And I think it was Becky and her and Kristina were together. They're having dinner, and they invited me over. We were having dinner together. I don't even know if they remember this, but it was so cool for me that moment because I still was like, "Wow, superstars! They actually let me sit and eat with them." And it was just really cool. But sitting with them, breaking bread, eating, and just joking, and just all of that made me realize it was one other little piece that I got out of it, and I hope you get out of Summit, is that what Jamie said is like, it's good to put people on a pedestal, and it's really cool, and that's great, but when you start realizing that there's no difference between us, zero. And I was like, I can do this. I can do this. I just got to keep doing the things. And that fact that they knew who I was like, wow, like, I'm doing things, and that's what I want you to get out of it. But I'm just so happy they've become really close friends of ours, and I'm just so honored that they're here, and I can't wait. So we're going to play a quick video, and then we'll welcome her to the stage. So we can roll the video, please.
Because of who you are and how you think. What I need you to do is I need you to find a reason to keep going. And if you can find a reason to keep going, I know you're strong enough to do it because you're human. Every human has what it takes to get past whatever they're going through if they decide to. Push through it. Push through it. Tragedy and trials come to everybody. Only the strong survive. Listen to me very closely. Y'all running from obstacles when in fact it's the obstacle that's gonna take you to the next level. Like y'all running from pain, y'all running from challenges. You telling me how difficult your life is. Do you understand it is the difficulty that's gonna prepare you and take you to that next level?
To grow the individual will to become something, you must get comfortable with fear and failure. They must be your best friends. They're the only one that moves that needle of life. And the difference between a champion and someone who's forgotten is that a champion shows up. That's the only thing. Every day shows up. Gives himself a chance to make a difference.
Because success doesn't know these things about cold or early or tired. It just knows if you showed up or not.
For some of you, when you do what you do, you act as if you have another opportunity. Every opportunity is the last opportunity. You can't just say you want it. You can't watch the video and say, I want it as bad as I want to breathe. It's cute to say it, but when it's showtime, when the sun comes out, you've got all the books, you've got all the tapes, you've got all the access. Now it's time to hunt.
If it was easy, everybody would do it. But if life's got you down, I need you to get up and prove them wrong.
It's gonna rain sometimes. I will. You're gonna feel discouraged sometimes. I will. No matter what the obstacle, I will. I will. I will. A true hunter's goal is not the prize. A true hunter's goal is to hunt. That's what they live for. They live to hunt. It's the whole process.
right, please welcome to the stage, superstar diamond, Kristina Delgado.
Thank you. Hey everybody, can you hear me? Yeah, we're good? It's very weird being up here. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. Well, I'm Kristina Delgado, and 2 days ago, I saw the image for Ignite that Miguel put together. It's so beautiful. And I was like, I'm the only non-Bombshell Dynasty downline coach presenting at Ignite. And I didn't know whether to be scared or to be completely flattered. But I'm honored to be here. And when Miguel said, I want you guys to share your stories, I immediately thought, which one? I have so many stories, just like each and every single one of you. So today I want to talk to you guys about something that's been really on my heart lately. I'm very passionate about this, and you'll understand why as I go through the presentation, but it is absolutely necessary that we start sharing our stories more. Kind of like that I Am Team Beachbody thing. Did you guys hear about that? I'm not sure. So I thought, share the story of the overworked and underpaid attorney that needed something different in her life. Or maybe the attorney that lived off of coffee and cigarettes and was miserable in the body she was in. Or the girl that didn't eat vegetables. Or, I could go on and on and on about all the stories that I could have shared with you guys today, but I decided to go another route. And some of my coaches know, my husband definitely knows, and my sister knows this, that I struggled with this for a very long time as to what I was going to share. And I finally said, you know what, rip the Band-Aid off, make the decision, share the story. And today I'm going to share with you the story of the day I became a mom. And you're probably saying, well, it must have been the day that Marley was born, our daughter. Nope, that wasn't the day. And it wasn't even the day my son DJ was born. The day I became a mom was the day DJ was diagnosed with autism. And this is going to happen a lot. I find it no coincidence that it was almost to the day that I returned to work from maternity leave after having DJ that my sister Becky, who's over here, she became a coach. And by the way, that day is today. It is her 7-year anniversary of being a Beachbody coach. By the way, it's yours too. Congratulations. It's Mattway's too. I wasn't even a coach yet, but it was like God or the universe or whatever you believe in saying, babe, you're gonna need this real soon, so pay attention. DJ was perfect. He was perfect growing up. He had everything, all of life ahead of him. He was hitting all his milestones. He was talking up a storm. He was walking before the age of 1. And then one day, it just stopped. And I'm sure it was probably the hardest day, one of the hardest days of my sister's life and my mom's life, but they sat me down and they said, Chris, I think there's something wrong. And I fought the notion that there could anything be wrong with our son. It could not be possible, but they were right. And I will never forget when we took him finally to, after evaluation over and over again, the neurologist said, Mom, I'm gonna have to diagnose your son with autism. And that day, in that very moment, everything changed for us. All the hopes and dreams that I had for him, that Danny had for him, my husband, they all seemed to just vanish in an instant. It was truly one of the most defining moments of my life. And I'm gonna tell you right now that I had a really good life. You're gonna hear stories of struggle at Summit, at this event, things that blow my mind that people have had to endure. I never had to endure any of those things. I had a great life growing up. I had great parents, a great relationship with my sister. I met Danny when I was 15. It was like the fairy tale. I had all the opportunities in life to succeed, and I did. I was an all-star cheerleader, always captain of the cheerleading team, you know, top of the class in my high school, kicked butt at the University of Miami, went on to law school, graduated at the top of my class, landed all the jobs that I ever wanted. Like, nothing really bad happened to me. I never faced any true adversity until this very moment. And we asked ourselves so many questions. Why me? Why him? Why us? Danny and I were angry. We didn't understand why this would happen. And I'll be quite honest, a lot of the time, I thought I was being punished for having such a good life. I didn't understand why. Until the dust cleared and the smoke settled. I said that backwards. Dust settled, smoke cleared. And Danny and I said, we are either going to be a statistic or we're going to give this child the best life that he could possibly have. And we decided on the latter. And it was in that very moment, I'll never forget, it was between that conversation that we had and actually a Beachbody event. It was a Franklin Covey training, time management training, which I failed miserably at. But it was in this exercise that Leanne Ruff was having us do where she said, write down your roles in life. Write them all down, right? You in the middle and then who you are. And I wrote wife right away. I wrote mom right away. I wrote Beachbody coach loudly and proudly on that paper. And she caught me as I was struggling to write the word lawyer. And she said, what's going on? And I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be at work. I don't want to not be there when DJ starts talking. I don't want to not be there when all those things happen in his life. And that was the most amazing shift in my life that I could have possibly had. It was the day I became a mom. Now you might think it's crazy that I say that because a lot of you are moms and you're like, I felt like a mom the day that I had my baby and the doctor put him or her in my arms. What are you talking about? The truth is, I never felt that way. I never felt that way. I felt that way at this moment of my life. I was a lawyer. I loved everything about being a lawyer. I loved the suits. I loved the courthouse. I loved the arguing. I loved the money. I loved everything. Truth. But all of that changed when this defining moment happened in my life. And we went from saying, why us, to why not us. And I, with 100% conviction, am standing here today saying that it was this opportunity and the work that I do with personal development and personal growth every day that allowed me to have this shift. So while you sit here at Summit and you see people speaking on stage and people receiving awards and all of that fancy stuff that means in the grand scheme of things, this is the gift that is this opportunity. Never confuse that with anything else. We had a choice. It was either we tell his story or we keep it quiet and we keep it to ourselves. We decided to share it with the world. You have that same decision with your life challenges and your life adversities and your defining moments. You could either keep them to yourself or you could help people grow through theirs by sharing yours. You want to know how you're going to stand out from the crowd? You have to learn how to share your stories. If you take a look at all the presenters that are presenting here today and all the coaches that are going to present at Summit and even the coaches that their lanyards are about to touch the floor with all of their recognition, by the way, it's a goal of mine. Mine will touch the floor one day. Look at their social media. Look at their social media. And while you'll see some glitz and glam of being here at Summit, I will tell you that they are all master storytellers and all in their own different ways. They know how to connect at a deeper level with people. Because your highlight reel, you guys, sorry, the slides. Your highlight reel is only gonna get you so far, right? All the good things that you do, all the recognition, all your workouts and your Shakeologies and all that stuff, that's not gonna separate you like you want it to separate you. You have to start sharing your stories. You have to start saying, what is it that happened to me in my life that I can then turn around and give it to other people so that they can change, they can get through that adversity. You have to be their guide. And here's the key. No one is you, right? No one is you. Look to your right and look to your left. And by the way, Miguel, when I started law school, funny story, side note, when I started law school, that's what they do. They say, look to your right, look to your left. Pretty certain that neither of those people will be sitting with you when you start your second year of law school. And that's the truth, and I 100% agree with you on that. But look to your right and look to your left, say hello, high five, stand up, meet them. We all share the same products. We all sell the same things. There is no difference in what I have to offer my clients than you have to offer your clients. Sometimes I wonder if the Fitzies have something they put in their coffee that's different. I'm not sure, but it's all the same. So the way you differentiate yourself is to share you, because you are the value. We sometimes confuse ebooks and free clean eating guides and all that stuff as what our value is to our customers and to our audiences. That is not all you have to share with the world. That's just stuff. That's white noise. That's what keeps us all the same. You gotta get different. You gotta be different. And the only way you are different is if you start sharing who you are, what your stories are. Number one, you gotta relate to people, right? When you're sharing on social media, you have to use words like, I understand because I've been there. I know because I was her or I was him. Trust me, girl, I've been there. I understand what you're going through. When you start using words like that, you start connecting with people at a whole different level than Shakeology and the 21-day fix. Now it's real, now it's personal, now you're getting to where the emotion is. And if you haven't realized this yet, you guys, we are in an emotion-based purchasing business. Nobody gives a rat's what is in Shakeology, right? The 70 ingredients and, you know, that thing, that new nutrition plan. No, they want to know why you do it. They want to understand what has changed in your life that they can get hope from, that's going to change in their life. That's where you draw in the emotion. That's what changes the game. It is not what we do, it is why we do it, and that's how you get stories involved, and it changes your business. And my favorite word in all the land, trust. This is how you build trust. Tomorrow, Liz Hartley and I get to speak on this topic, on how to get clients. And we start the whole presentation talking about trust. Your people that follow you, that eventually are going to join your challenge groups and are going to join your coaching business and your team and your tribe, they need to trust you. And you earn that trust by getting down on their level and sharing how you've experienced the same things that they're experiencing in life. Now, I shared a very, oh, there goes the slides again, Miguel. And I share the story of DJ, right? And my message with DJ is, don't feel sorry for us, learn from us, right? We have gone through something that you can draw inspiration from. We've connected the adversity, we've connected the life experience of the autism diagnosis to providing hope for other people, and a message that yes, you cannot change your circumstances. Things will happen in your life, but you sure as hell can grow from them, you can learn from them, and then you can help other people by sharing them. And if my son can go through life and struggling to not have outbursts and struggling to even speak words, then you sure as hell can work out for 30 minutes a day. You've heard me say that story. There's no excuse. So use your life experiences, both the physical, the financial. That's what we're good at. We are good at sharing our transformation stories. We're good at sharing about the opportunity. But are you good at sharing the turning points of your life? What you've learned from past relationships? Some of you are very religious and spiritual. Teach and help people with that. I know I've learned a lot about spirituality by reading a lot of your posts. That's where I gain inspiration. How have you overcome things in your life? What were your defining moments? Now, I can't sit here and tell you, you have to share this, that, and the other. You have to take a look at that graph, and you have to decide for yourself what stories you're going to share. But if you want to take your business to the next level, you have to start sharing them. You cannot continue to expect that your business is going to grow simply by sharing your fitness results or simply sharing what the business has done for you. We need to get deeper. You guys, we are in a world where we are being pummeled by advertising, by new MLMs, by this, that, and the other. All of that is white noise. All of that is white noise. And if you want your customers and clients to, instead of, those posts that totally piss me off, I'm getting off social media for a month. We need to avoid, that from happening. So stop adding people to groups without their permission. Let's stop doing the things that piss people off, and let's start adding value to their lives by sharing our stories and giving them hope and inspiration and saying, if I can get through this, you can get through this too. Can I get an amen? Amen. Yes. How do you share your stories, you guys? You have to be purposeful and intentional in your message. There has to be a reason why you're sharing them. You just can't throw things out and think that, spaghetti on the wall and think it's going to stick. You have to have a reason as to why you are sharing the message. I share DJ's message simply because I want you to understand that life's not perfect, right? Things are going to happen, but it's how you react to them that makes the difference. And I hope that if you follow me on social media, that that's what you draw from that you're inspired. So many times this week, even just before we walked into this room, my sister and I have been stopped over and over and over again saying, thank you for last year's summit presentation. And all we did was what? What a concept. That's all we did. And we helped you guys for a whole year. Like, what an awesome thing is that? All we did was share our story. There wasn't any bomb that we dropped that this was going to change your business. All we did was inspire you. Do you understand now what I'm talking about? Yes? I'm trying to get back to this slide. Hold on. About the number 2. Oh, too much. Hold on. You've got to get naked. Number 2. You have to be vulnerable and you have to be open. If you haven't watched it already, Brené Brown has a TED Talk on vulnerability. It is actually what my sister and I watched before we presented last year at Summit, which changed the game for us. And that's when we said, okay, let's tell them everything. And look what happened, right? You have to get vulnerable. Share the lesson learned, and please use imagery to represent what the message you are trying to convey. You're going to see some amazing imagery. We just saw the Fitzy's imagery. Like, when they speak on social media, their images stop me, and then I read. When I see Lindsay and Mattway and Bonnie and Miguel, the images stop me, and then I read. So make sure that you are using imagery that's clean, crisp, clear, and sends a powerful message and relate to your audience, because that's what's going to build the deep and powerful connections. Now, you're going to hear a lot about, this being your Hollywood story, right? That this is your time to shine, and you are the hero of your story, and I totally agree with that, right? We're here to succeed in our businesses, but when we are talking about sharing stories on social media to attract people, to help people, to serve people, I want you to embrace this concept of be the guide, not the hero. Because what happens is, if we only share the good, if we only put ourselves on this pedestal, if I were to come up here and say, I'm the best, I have all these things, and it's so great, what happens is, this happens, right? I separate myself from you. The goal in sharing your stories on social media is to connect people, not divide them, right? So you have to share everything, all the lessons learned, and you have to become the guide so that your audience becomes the hero. Does that make sense to you? Right? You can't always be the hero. You are the guide. In our story, who's the hero? It's DJ, right? It's DJ, and it's the moms and dads out there that are struggling with adversity with their children, with kids being diagnosed left and right with special needs issues. Those are the heroes, because I'm telling them, I'm giving them the tools to be able to get over this adversity, or at least move past it and grow from it. And I'll end with this. No matter what you do, tell your story. This is the probably most simplest quote that Gary Vaynerchuk has ever written, but it is so powerful. I mean, he's written 2 top-selling books, New York Times bestsellers, on the concept of share your story. There's a thing here, you guys. I'm not just making this up. When I look back at my business and people say, you know, what's been that determining factor? There's so many aha moments that I've had, but one thing that I have embraced is this concept of sharing our stories. And you have so many of them. Take time, reflect, figure out what value you have to share with the world, and go share it. Because if you want to explode your business, if you want to blow up your business, you are the determining factor in that, and it is your stories that's going to get you there. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Have a wonderful summit. I love you.
That was amazing. So great. Woo! Anybody have Kleenex? I was like bawling over there. Who else is crying a little bit? Okay, good. We all were. That's good.